So what are the barriers that can make or that could make people to be left behind? What are the things?
Why did you hurt them? Insane. They're gonna take their valuable, ugly. What are you running? Get out of here. Give it to me.
This is me. Let's talk about my abilities.
Good day, everyone. I welcome you to another edition of Able Voice Talk Time. Today, we are looking at a very crucial topic, which is everyone belongs. Everyone belongs, and that is the concept of inclusion. Now, before we delve into my name is Oluwatobi. I would love to share one of my experiences. Not actually my experience, that went to one of the commercial bank here in Nigeria, and got this one was trying to access the building, was trying to access at the bank, but unfortunately for her, was not able to access the banking system or service. Why? Because she was on the wheelchair. Just imagine, she was there. The person sharing the experience went in and came back, meeting her on the same spot. She was helpless and she could not do what she went to the bank to do. Just imagine that scenario. Just imagine if it were you. How would you feel? That you went for a purpose to transact. You went to get your money at the bank, but you could not access it. Now, that is an issue. Everyone belongs. The concept of inclusion. So when we talk about inclusion, it's just about making everyone, regardless of ability, background, age, gender, or disability, making everyone fully engaged and informed in education, employment, access to health care, and many more. Or you talk of social inclusion too. So that is the concept, that everyone must be informed. No one must be left behind, regardless of their ability. There must be access. So this thing we are talking about, I want us to understand that inclusion is not actually a privilege. It's a right, because they are well constituted. It's in our policies in different acts. For instance, on inclusion about education, the national policy on education supports this, that everyone, regardless of their ability, background, race, gender, or disability, should be should have access to quality education. They should not be left behind because they are blind. They should not be left behind because they are deaf. They should not be left behind because they have one's physical disability or exceptionality. Everyone should be properly included in education system. For employment too, in Disability Act, the act says that certain percentage, 15% of person with disability should be employed. To make it simple, if you are employing 100 persons into your organization, 15 out of this 100 should be person with disability. Do not say they cannot do this. I have a friend who shared a very pathetic experience with me. Despite his qualification, despite his competencies, yet he was applying to certain opportunities and he was denied of this opportunity. Not once, not twice, not thrice, but for every time he applied, not because he is not qualified, not because he is not competent, not because he lacked the skill needed, required for him to gain this employment, but why? Because he has a disability. They say, oh, no, we cannot employ you. Oh, we don't need you. Why? Because he has a disability. So, same thing in health sector. I've different experience. People have shared different lived experience with me. I was speaking with someone not quite long. It was he has a communication disorder, basically, problem with his hearing and speech. But he said anytime he went to the hospital, the doctor find it hard to understand him. And this is someone trying to express himself, communicate his medical need to the doctor. But unfortunately, the access is there. So what are the barriers that can make, or that could make people to be left behind? What are the things that might result to having everyone involved? What are the things that might make people not to belong? And one, it could be physical barrier. Just like the first example I shared, the story I shared of a woman who wanted to access the bank. Most of our infrastructure rather, most of our facilities, they lack access. They lack physical access, yeah. No ramp for someone on the wheelchair. How do you expect the person to access the religious center? Most of our churches, mosques, business centers, they lack things that will make people with disability access those facilities. In a way, you are saying we don't need you. In a way, you are saying you are not part of us because you don't provide what you make them belong to them. So we need to understand that everyone, regardless, we should have a provision for them. Another thing, think of it in educational setting. That's when we talk about inclusive education, designing curriculum to meet the unique need of a learner. And teacher will stop calling one child because he's not coping with the class activity. We will stop calling him a dullard. No, it's not actually a dullard. It's only because you've not understood the requirement. You've not understood the need of this particular learner. Yeah, don't expect everyone to catch up. Don't expect everyone to learn on the same pace. That is why there should be accommodation in our educational setting too. That is why teachers should understand their needs. That is why school, in our educational system, we should have special educator who would understand, who are able to access the ability of each student. And we'll stop judging them based on their disability. And you stop judging them based on what you can see, while neglecting the strengths. You are judging them based on their weakness. Everyone should be amongst. See, this is not actually a time to maybe teach us or walk us through certain things. This is like an advocacy message that everyone should be loved. Just let's look at our organization. Let's look at things that we do. Does it in any way accommodate people with disability? In our sector, just think of it. And it's very, very important. There are also, aside physical barrier, there are also communication barrier. This is another very important thing. People should have access to communication. People should have free access to information. On our websites, on social media, when you post things, you should consider people with visual impairment, that, how would they able to catch up? Right? Consider, okay, this thing I'm posting, is this accessible for text-to-speech reader to read my article so that people with visual impairment will benefit? Think of someone with hearing impairment. Do they have access to what you are saying? Are you providing a subtitle to your text or visual illustration so that they will benefit? So we need to combat all these issues. Then much more importantly, attitudinal barrier. This is actually affecting a whole lot of things. Our attitude to life, our attitude to people with disability matters. If you have the right attitude, we're able to include them, involve them in our thing. So before I round this up, I just want to give us 4 strategies to foster inclusion. 4 strategies to aid and make everyone to belong. The first thing is awareness. Awareness is very, very important, making people to be aware that these are the needs of persons with disability. And how do we come about or make proper awareness? How do we make accurate awareness? It is through need assessment. You need to do a need assessment. What does this category of individual, what do they need? Need assessment is very, very important, because sometimes you think this person needs this, and in other way around, when you have a very detailed interaction, you discover no, this is not actually the need. Maybe you are thinking this person needs education, but when you interact with that person with disability, you think, oh, what this person needs is not educational intervention, it's actually vocational. Okay, and in our workplace, then we can include him. What this person, the barrier this person is facing is not health, it is social. So you understand through need assessment, and you're able to like create awareness to make people understand the need and what they should do. Another thing is accessibility. When you are in the process of creating the awareness, people will now be able to like make workplace, school, social gathering inclusive. They will making it more accessible. Religious gathering, churches, mosques, we know that okay, we need interpreters for persons with hearing impairment, for deaf person. They will know we need ramps for person on a wheelchair. So it is awareness that will lead to proper accessibility, to create an accessible environment. Another way we can foster inclusion and make everyone belong is through advocacy. Advocating for it. Since we have the understanding of the need of persons with disability, we're able to advocate, just as I'm doing now. Actually, I'm doing two in one thing. Yeah. Creating awareness, at the same time advocating, calling on the policymakers, calling on our leaders, calling on proprietors, calling on government and all, that we need to make everyone belong. We need to include everyone. And the last thing is collaboration. In fact, this is a very powerful tool that we can use to aid inclusion. Let's collaborate. Let's just understand that we cannot do this alone. Let's collaborate with design builders or designers, builders, tech people. Let's collaborate and see how can we, this is the problem people with disability are facing, how can we provide solution to them? Through collaboration, we're able to give a solution, a lasting one, the one that will create impact and solve the problem we are facing right now. Now, as I want to bring this to an end, I want to understand that inclusion is not actually, like I said, it is not a privilege, it's a right. And in the same vein, inclusion is not an event. It is not a policy. It is a way of life. It is things we do that to ensure that everyone is involved, that everyone is included. Inclusion are things that we do to ensure that we are leaving no one behind. When we talk, when we act, when we engage ourselves, we are leaving absolutely no one behind. And that is what I'm charging you to. As you are listening to me this time, maybe you are listening in the night, morning, or what have you, that in your doing, make sure that you are designing an inclusive atmosphere, inclusive environment, inclusive gathering, inclusive events, inclusive organization. And through that, we are creating a world that is better for all to live. Thank you once again. Please don't forget to like, to share, and then to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.